What makes a god? Is it power beyond human reach? Is it worship and hope to a single entity? Or is it something else entirely? If power alone makes a god, then beings such as Superman or any entity with power out of human reach would be classified as a god or godlike being. But many, if not all, beings with superpowers may not meet the criteria of what you or many others may consider a god. To many, a god is all-knowing, all-powerful, hopeful and pure, a symbol of peace and prosperity. These characteristics do not apply to, say, the likes of supervillains. An example I'd like to give is the comparison between DC Comics' Superman and Peter Berg's Hancock. Both possess otherworldly powers such as super strength and flight, but putting these two heroes beside one another, there seems to be a divide. Superman is a symbol of hope and justice, someone who stares evil in the eye and doesn't blink, someone who helps others because it's just the right thing to do. In Peter Berg's 2008 action comedy Hancock, it's a slightly different case. Hancock was once a well-loved and respected hero, but unfortunately, as time went on, Hancock fell to severe depression, extreme loneliness, and alcoholism. He had been alive for thousands of years, living as an outcast without knowing his true origin, which, funny enough, is that he is a god. Though Hancock isn't technically a god in the divine sense, he is part of an ancient immortal species of superhumans who have existed for millennia and were historically regarded as gods or angels. While he possessed immense power, he lost a desire to be a hero in the traditional sense, becoming a reluctant, moody, and oftentimes destructive figure. Though both of these beings possess godlike powers, they both have very different ways of life that could affect how they could ultimately be considered a god. Hancock has the same power, but he isn't a symbol. Not anymore. He's careless, disconnected, human in the worst ways. Superman is the complete opposite. A symbol of hope, of restraint, someone who could rule, but chooses not to. And then there's something else.
Shoot the lights out.
Something that doesn't save.
Hide till it's bright out.
Doesn't inspire.
Oh, just another lonely night.
Doesn't care.
Are you willing to sacrifice your life?
In Harlan Ellison's 1967 post-apocalyptic short story, I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, a hateful, omnipotent, sentient supercomputer by the name of Am erased all of humanity except 5 humans. He kept them as victims of an endless torture he created. He has the power to practically reshape reality, or more so, create fake ones in the mind of his victims, whilst also being capable of altering their minds, emotions, and thoughts. Am is relatively immortal, accounting, well, he's a computer. He won't die to age, and he has wiped out the entire human race, so he's gonna be around for a while. He holds the power to erase an entire planet of life, and controls the minds of others. These powers are beyond human reach, the very same as Superman or Hancock, in the sense that normal people just can't get them, no matter how high your political or wealth status is. But Am does not act as a symbol of hope, nor has he ever. More a symbol of fear. Am hates all of humanity. He chooses to keep his victims immortal so that they may suffer forever. Am is a machine, a god in everything but name. It wiped out humanity, all but 5. Not to save them, not to judge them, but to make them suffer. It reshapes reality, controls minds, defies death itself. Its power rivals anything we would call divine, and yet no one would worship it. So, if power makes a god, then what kind of god is Am? And would he be the same kind of god as Superman or Hancock? Maybe a god isn't just powerful. Maybe a god is something that creates, be it life or static matter. Maybe a god is something that defies the rules of existence itself. Matter cannot be created or destroyed, but what if there was something or someone that could do both? Season 3, Episode 20 of the American animated television series Futurama, titled Godfellas, is an episode where one of the characters, Bender, finds himself in a position of a god. During a space pirate attack, Bender is accidentally fired into space. Due to Bender being launched when the ship was at its top speed, it is impossible to catch up with him. After an asteroid crashes into Bender, a civilization of tiny humanoid shrimpkins grow on him and worship him as a god. Bender enjoys his newfound status, picking a prophet named Malachi. The shrimpkins begin praying for rain, sun, and wealth, and Bender attempts to heed their prayers, ultimately failing and unintentionally harming the shrimpkins in the process. Malachi tells him that the shrimpkins who migrated to his rear end feel their prayers are unheeded and have become atheists. The atheists threaten war with Bender's worshippers. Bender, horrified that his previous attempts to help the shrimpkins only harmed them, refuses to intervene. The micro-civilization is destroyed when the shrimpkin factions launch atomic weapons out of Bender's nuclear piles. Bender continues floating through space until he encounters a cosmic entity. During their time together, the entity tells Bender that it has had much the same experience with helping those who pray to it, and has given up on directly interfering in its worshippers' lives. It now uses a light touch, which it compares to safecracking, pickpocketing, or, as Bender adds,
or a guy who burns down a bar for the insurance money.
Though, of course, this show is an animated comedy and isn't made to be taken too seriously, in the interaction between Bender and this cosmic entity, there is one moment that changes the mood entirely. During this satirical joke of what a god actually is, and if this is our god or maybe just a random cosmic entity, something is said that feels a little too real. Something that, though is part of a joke and is just a satirical bit, felt true.
When you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all.
When you do things right, people won't be sure you've done anything at all. It suggests that the most effective kind of control isn't loud or obvious, but invisible. When actions are perfectly balanced, they don't draw attention to themselves. Events feel natural, as if they were always going to happen that way. In the context of godhood, it implies that a truly powerful being wouldn't need to prove its existence through miracles or force. Instead, it would guide things so gently that people believe they acted on their own. The result is a kind of hidden influence where outcomes are shaped without ever revealing the hand behind them, making the god both present and completely unnoticeable at the same time. It is the most effective control. It's invisible. Not miracles, not destruction, not proof, just quiet influence. A shift here, a moment there, until everything unfolds exactly as it should. No worship driven by force, no fear, just the illusion that everything happened on its own. And maybe that's what a God really is. Not something that demands to be seen, but something that never needs to be. Because if you can't see it, can't prove it, can't even tell it's there, that's the closest thing to a God we'll ever get. But what if that wasn't true? What if our worship, all of these things, didn't make a God? Because maybe a God isn't all-powerful and all-knowing. Maybe a God is confused and unsure. Maybe the only thing that makes a God is you.
40,000 people are missing or under the rubble in Gaza.
To evacuate 2 Irish citizens.
Britain and France have sent warships to the Middle East.
An officer has finally been honoured for his bravery.
I have 8,000 subscribers and 1.8 million views.
Right now, I have 5.9 thousand subs right now.
Oh.